Okay, well, happy Monday, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. I definitely want to make this a quick Zoom because I know a lot of people are kind of busy, kind of preparing for the week. Whenever we have like a Monday with at least with kids off school and then preparing, I know a lot of people, like Kelly was talking about, preparing to leave for PV, and everyone's. I see some people driving, and so I just wanted to really get on and just briefly go over a few concepts, and then I want next Monday, I'd really like to dig a little bit deeper into magnetic sponsoring. So if you've been on Mindset the last few weeks, we've been diving a little bit into um, Mike Dillard's magnetic sponsoring. If you don't have this book, I highly recommend this one. Um, Honestly, any kind of book that you can really just get, or even if you're not a big reader and you just get podcasts, I highly recommend just adding value and making the things in your environment a positive, uplifting, and something like learning something that we're always learning and growing and retaining, and you know always moving towards more more learning, more growing. So I highly recommend doing that. And one way to do that is, obviously on our team, it's a lot of reading, but also just listening to podcasts, playing positive music, meditating, really creating that space of create like to grow. When I talked about creating a space for abundance to show up, it's really like clearing off a space of negativity and really creating an area where you can have positivity show up. So one thing is just to be mindful and to create that repetition, and kind of just creating new habits. Another really great book is Atomic Habits that I know was talked about a lot. Um, so I just want to talk briefly about a few concepts, and then I have a minor homework assignment for everybody. And next week, I would really like to kind of just really dive into a lot more on magnetic sponsoring. Um, so if you were here last week, we talked about how Mike Dillard in chapter 2 really goes over you, Inc., how you inherently are representing yourself as your own, you are a product, like you are your own company, your own business, and you represent yourself like that. Yes, we have a product, but we don't essentially own any of the products that we represent. And he really gets into how we need to inherently be adding value or solving a problem for our consumers or potential customers or even our promoters. And that when we can provide that sort of value and we have something else to add, that it really helps us kind of grow our brand, us, because people essentially buy into us as a human. They choose us, not just the product. And so I just thought that that was just really, really powerful to go over because I think that's just a really, really big concept. And I wanted to take this book really, really slow because I really wanted to think about a lot of different concepts in here because it's kind of like magnetic sponsoring is one of those make or break your entire business kind of ideas. So you either are chasing and running and convincing and over explaining your business and your ideas and concepts and what people should do in their life, and you're just kind of in the space of convincing and all this, or you're in a space of sorry, I'm getting distracted. Or you're either in a space of creating magnetism and really providing things and showing up confidently, showing up that with that alpha energy and really magnetizing people to you. So Mike Dillard really talks about how you need to not only have value outside of the product. So, we have a company that creates the products. We have, they have marketing and graphics and like their own promotions and their own systems. And that's wonderful. But not everybody can come into a built system and make that run smoothly. Really, it takes a special kind of finesse to really create a business for yourself. So anybody can, quote unquote, sell a product, but it takes a little bit more than just working through the motions to really create a business for yourself. So last week I really talked about it, and I really kind of forgot to mention this. So I really wanted to dive into chapter 2, where art versus science. Courtney talked about how, we can essentially but we can enroll a bunch of people into our teams, right? Like we can have a bunch of people, we can have all the tools and the steps, and we can hand it to just about anybody. But teaching people just the step-by-step motion, it's kind of like, what is that? There was like a certain image I had in my mind, kind of like, maybe I shouldn't say it, but it's basically like we can teach people the steps, but unless you have like some art in there, a little bit of finesse and understanding, and you kind of have like a little bit of, I call finesse, but I really like how Courtney called it some art. It really has to be something that you work towards, like communication. Communication is not a science, it is an art form. It is a form of art. It is a form of expressing ourselves, for communicating with other people in the world. Some of it verbal, some of it nonverbal. A lot of communication is actually very nonverbal. Body language, the way you carry yourself, the energy that you vibrate with into the world when you speak. She talks about swag, charisma, and charm. It can't be taught. There is no manual to teach it. Yeah, it's honestly something that you have to learn how to kind of harness. So if you don't really know how to do that, you're not really sure what that is. I am not a professional in that, but I highly recommend. There are so many people out there in the world. There are podcasts, YouTube, books. It is that alpha energy and that confidence. And one way that Mike Diller really goes into that is talking about really learning new skills. So it doesn't have to be some super technical, awesome skill. It can just be that your value that you add to the world, and it has to be something other than the products that we offer. It has to be something that just you can provide people. And I really think that's such a big deal, because I think a lot of people miss an opportunity to grow. And I think it's right here, which is why I wanted to like really slow down and just really hack apart this concept. So I'm in Magnetic Sponsoring. It's actually on page 42. I'm going to read you something, and I might have to read it twice to really get the concept in. He said, read it over and over as many times as you need to. Nobody who bought a drill actually wanted a drill. They wanted a hole. Therefore, if you want to sell drills, you should advertise information about the holes, not information about the drills. I'll repeat that one more time, because I know some people are like, what? Nobody who bought a drill actually wanted a drill. They wanted a hole. Therefore, if you want to sell drills, you should advertise information about the holes, not information about the drills. So that's a pretty powerful concept. And honestly, that's kind of one of the main concepts I wanted to kind of have our mindset today about, is that concept, because it's so easy and simple, and it's so important. When you are worried about how do I talk to people, what do I post, how do I share, yes, we post our 3 steps often in our stories. That's a big thing on our team. But Courtney's in there saying, yep, to the problems. Talk about the problems, not just the solutions. Yeah. So you can go, oh yes, this product and this product and this product are awesome. And you can explain why. But when you're in the space of just selling the product, you're in the space of selling the drill. People don't want another drill. They don't want another product. There's millions of products out there. They're not looking for another product. Not really. Now, some people are, and the people that are looking for a product, they're the special, like unicorn customers or promoters that will find you. Then you just they will seek you out, and then they will be in your inbox. So whether you're magnetic or not, because they're on the hunt for a product, and those are very, very few and far between, which is why advertising about the holes, about the solutions, and not just about the problem. So, really getting in a space of hearing and listening to people, knowing what it is that they need. This is where your listening and interpreting skills really come into play here. So, I know for me, I have a lot going on in my life. So, when I'm talking and conversing with people, I tend to be short with people, like just on a regular basis in my life. 4 kids, my husband's deployed, I have a lot going on. I call myself a ninja. So when I communicate even to my kids, sometimes I cut people short and it really, really negatively impacts my level of communication. And it leaves people feeling less heard, less understood, like they don't matter as much, and like I do not inherently have solutions. It actually impacts my parenting style. So it's something I'm learning to be patient, taking those few extra seconds to really just take a deep breath, really hear what somebody's saying, even if, like, for instance, with my children, my son complaining and complaining, and I'm just like not in a space of complaining. We're in a space of solutions today, but that's not where he's at. So kind of just sitting and taking a few extra seconds to really listen and hear, and not hear to respond, but really listen to what's being said. So if somebody's like, yeah, I'm having a really hard time, and um, let me give you a really quick for instance. My son would get, hey, Vince, it's time to clean your room. And he would go, oh, yeah, I don't really want to. And I would listen and I would think, oh, well, he's just really overwhelmed because he doesn't want to clean his room. But when I really sat down and really, really listened to him, it's not so much that he didn't really want to listen or didn't really want to clean. It was the fact that he felt really alone and needed help. So by me going, well, you just need to focus on one thing or another, I'm missing the main problem that he has. So I really wasn't listening to the one thing that would have impacted him the most. And that was me being with him and helping walk him through that. Some people, everybody does things differently. So when we can be in a space of listening and really hearing people and interpreting, like, what is the real thing there? What are they really saying? Now, some people are like, my kids are I'm just overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. Yeah, I hear that. And, that's where that feel, felt, found can come in. You know, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found is this really works for me. But really, when you're in a space of really listening to people, not just to respond and offer a product and a solution, but to really hear like what is in there. Like what is the one thing that they're communicating that is the most like problematic for them. When you can be in a space of listening to really interpret the real main issues. So some people, they want to lose weight, they want to have more energy, but they really just don't want to deal with all the communication or all the products or all the details and all the muck. And you're over here trying to explain all the ways. And you're over here like, oh, you got this problem. I got this solution. I got this solution. I got this solution. And some people just, you just scare them off. And really what they were trying to communicate is, I'm really overwhelmed and I just need someone to just kind of help me do this for me. Those are the kind of people that really just want you to help them log into their account, help set their orders up. They'll like give you their card number. They need you to walk them through that. So what I really mean by that, all of this is you really have to focus on the way that you're marketing yourself and your business. Who are you and how do you show up in the space of communicating? We communicate on social media through Messenger and communicating with people. So I want to just encourage everyone that when they go out into the world and communicate, that they really communicate from a space of really hearing, asking the questions, really listening to what their concerns are. If it's, I mean, I feel like this is pretty simple, but I think a lot of people miss the art form of communication, and it's something that has to be practiced. So if you really feel like you suck at it, just know I think everyone has felt like that at one point or another in their life, that like they just didn't know how to communicate effectively or didn't really know, like some people just don't really have like the genius of discernment and being able to discern like what is the thing. So, sometimes just asking people, hey, what what is like the one thing for you that if it wasn't there, or if we could change that one thing, it would greatly impact your life. What is that one thing? When I'm seeing people saying waiting room, and I'm not seeing anyone in waiting room. Maybe they're on the wrong Zoom. Maybe they're on the wrong number. I'm not seeing it, guys. Sorry. So I definitely want to just take a few more minutes to kind of wrap up, and I want to give everybody some homework. A few things that I want to leave everybody with. I'm going to read this one more time to really hammer it in there, drill it in there. Wink, wink. Nobody who bought a drill actually wanted a drill. They wanted a hole. Therefore, if you want to sell drills, you should advertise information about the holes, not information about the drills. So go on your social media and see, how have you been advertising? What have you been communicating? Really go through and look at your posts, the way that you word them, and really figure out how can you advertise solutions without over advertising solutions. So you definitely don't want to like vomit Thrive on your page, but how can you be a product of the product and show that you are a solution? Being that in that alpha energy, being confident, being knowledgeable, walking in confidence. And one way to really do that is to add value. So I want to shout out Haley. Haley, I've been seeing you posting videos of makeup. I haven't really had a ton of time, but I love makeup. I love people and their creativity. And that is like her brand. She is so creative and beautiful, and people want to see that. One of my favorite downtime is to watch murder and mystery makeup. Or it's one of my things. And just when I vegetate and I zone out, that is something like I will just go watch. So having that value to add to people, it increases her confidence. She knows she's adding value. Other people appreciate that. So they will get to know her as somebody that has value, so that when she shows up with a solution, people already know that she's valuable because she's offered some other type of value. And it just really, oh yeah, her shirt's super cute. It really just helps when you can provide a service or some kind of information or value. So my homework for this week is, I want to know, and if you don't want to share it next week, that's fine, but I'm going to ask next week, what is your at least one piece of valuable content, or how do I word this properly? What is one thing you're putting out on social media that you are adding value that has nothing to do with products that we sell? So what is one thing? So like for Haley, it's her makeup videos. I mean, she has all these other awesome qualities, but right now, just this last week, that's really what I've been seeing. So what value are you giving? So I'm a keto half-asser. Yeah. So be a keto full-asser. Sorry, I just said that. But seriously, yes. And hopefully it's in your fives, like Kelly said. So ideally, you would pick something in your fives list. That's a really good point. So pick something in your fives list. Yeah, Courtney says mindset and leadership. She definitely adds that value. So when I see Courtney's posts, they're almost always about mindset and leadership. And she is inherently, like everybody knows, she's extremely valuable, and she adds value in mindset and leadership. So much so that it just validates her and makes her magnetic, because people just know. There we go, meditation and positivity. So not only do I want you to figure out what on your fives list, and if you have to change your fives list, do it, but what on your fives list is the one or few things that you are putting out there that is inherently adding value to your You Inc., your business, which is yourself. And I will be asking next week. And I would love to hear next week, we'll just take a few minutes next week to really go over how did that impact you? I'm really curious to see the difference. I think it's just a very, very small, but like ginormous, little tiny shift that some people out there are can make on social media that can really be impactful. So, being a product of the product, adding some sort of value. If you love to cook and you're just like, you know what, I cook for my family all the time, share recipes if you don't know what to do. If you're funny and you just have like, you don't even know a value, maybe you're just really funny. Maybe you're like a mom or a dad and you're just like a jokester. Well, people find a lot of value in humor, especially scrolling social media. So if like you're a funny person, please go and I want to see jokes. I would love to scroll and just see somebody's random joke of the day. That would be great. But if that's not on your fives list, I think that could kind of work with anybody. But I think I just want to leave everybody right there thinking about, sorry, I'm missing everybody in the chats here. I challenge you to do all three pieces of content centered solely around you: a live, a post, and reels, etc. Yeah, I'm in for a challenge. I'm in my house. I'm the only one that thinks I'm funny. You know what? Nobody at my house thinks I'm funny, but other people think I'm funny. So I've when I have my kids and my kids don't find me amusing, other people will laugh and my kids will look at me like sideways, like homegirl, please. Like, you're funny. No one finds you funny. So if you're not the funniest human and people don't find you funny, then you're going to be super, super awkward. Richard says I'm corny. I'm not, but I'm hilarious. LOL. Yeah. I think a lot of people call me corny. And I think it's hilarious. So he's just lame. So yeah, I want everyone to just be creative instead of focusing on selling a bunch of Thrive and a bunch of products this week. Focus on what value you can add. What in your fives list value can you add? Do what Courtney says up here, where she's challenging everyone to do a live posts and reels about it. Like, really go out there and add value. So if you want to share a recipe, it would be much better if you went live and showed people your recipe, posted the picture in the comments, and went live about it. It really people want to see you. You're more valid. You're more approachable. You're more you. When they actually see you, they can see the way you talk. So one thing is I'm always seeing Tracy, she always has videos and she always has a ton of content in her stories. She's extremely relatable. She has a lot of inherent value. Just being herself and being out there and outspoken in the world, it just adds a lot of value for a lot of people. So think about how you can provide information about the holes, not just the drills. So provide information about solutions in your fives list, some kind of value. We will be checking back next week, and we're definitely going to dive more into magnetic sponsoring. But I think that is something that a few people really need to dive into on their fives list. What kind of value can they add? And if you're not sure, collaborate. Go ask 5 people, what is your top qualities? What do you think I'm the best at? If you were going to ask my opinion about something, what would it be? If you really don't know, there's a ton of ways to find out. So I think I want to really end it there. I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments or anything to add. I would love. You can totally unmute, add something. And yeah, I just wanted to keep it short this week because I know it's a holiday and y'all know I can talk forever. So
I just want to add that what we have in our day-to-day life, we often find boring. Like, never in my life have I ever been like, you know what, folding these 12 loads of laundry is so exciting. But whenever I share the fact that I'm folding 12 loads of laundry, I get like a metric butt ton of interaction on that. Why? Because what's my normal is not other people's normal. So what you're doing on your day to day is what you add value. Haley with her makeup, me, Bible study, chickens, 10 kids, Rachel, all of her autism information. Like, Rachel doesn't look at her life and say, oh my God, this is so glamorous. Like, I feel so educated right now. I watched her live the other day on the medical equipment that they got, and I was like, holy crap, some of this stuff would have been really, really helpful whenever Ryan was younger. I really wish somebody would have been posting about it then. So, like,
which is why I went live and I actually almost didn't. And I was like, how dare you steal somebody's value, especially stuff like that? Like other people need to know about that. I
Mhm.
had so many moms reach out, like, I had people stop me at the zoo yesterday. Where'd you get that stroller? And I'm seeing like kids with autism flailing and like, and it's like, if I can provide that value for someone just by being more present and showing it, kind of like you're talking about with your 12 loads of laundry, somebody is drowning in laundry and you showing your 12 loads makes them feel so much better about themselves. They feel relatable to you. And yeah, there's a lot of people out there. 12 loads of laundry. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. I'm getting all distracted. But yeah, thank you for adding that. I think that is very important. Um, I think we forget that sometimes. We forget that like we're valuable. And I just want to go back and say, if you don't feel valuable, please go watch last Monday's mindset. Because if you don't know how valuable that you really are, you need to start learning. I think we all feel invaluable. We get in the daily grind and we kind of move and we do all the, check off all the blocks and we just feel boring and we feel like we don't have a ton of value. And there are like a million people out there that think like you are kick ass. And like the only person that doesn't believe it is like yourself. So we have to remember that when we go out into the world, know that like so many people are looking at you and they're so grateful to see you on a daily basis. So please use that as encouragement to go out and add value. And I cannot wait to hear what that value is next week. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday and happy Memorial Day. Bye, guys.